Unfortunately, in this speech, I can't completely avoid dealing, at least in part, with what I now refer to as the plan. I have never disputed, not once, Brittney Higgins' claim about what happened in my office in the early hours of one Saturday morning. Brittney Higgins and David Sharaz developed a political #MeToo plan based on a simple but very powerful lie. A lie that has now resulted in the longest and largest political scandal in our nation's history, and one is well into its 5th year. Brittney always knew the truth. Justice Lee dealt with this in his judgment, where he sets out the false representations and false warranties given in her settlement deed. And Justice Lee said this: "What is notable about Ms Higgins' account of a cover-up or victimisation allegation is not only in its inconsistency with the contemporaneous records and its falsities, particularly as to Ms Higgins dealing with Ms Brown, but also its imprecisions and reliance upon speculation and conjecture." He also said this: "Putting what occurred at this meeting on the 1st of April and the events of the preceding days together, a clear picture emerges, but it is entirely at odds with the notion of an attempt being made to cover up an allegation by discouraging it to be reported to the police." Now, the moment Labor's leadership made the conscious decision to politically weaponise Ms Higgins' allegations, my life and that of so many others were changed forever. And every human being, no matter how strong you are, has a breaking point. Labor deliberately and oh so very surgically and relentlessly found mine, whatever it took. That type of persistent and aggressive personal attack would never be tolerated in any other workplace in this country. Labor so badly wanted the allegations that a female cabinet minister and a prime minister had covered up the rape of a young woman. They so badly wanted it to be true, they didn't actually care if it was true or not, I believe. But consequently, as a result of their actions, Labor failed to exercise any proper judgment or independence before becoming so publicly involved in perpetuating a story that Justice Lee described as insufficiently scrutinised and factually misconceived conjecture. I never wanted to sue Brittney or David, but ultimately I was left with no choice, and I've been asked why I did it. Once the Attorney-General barred me from defending these highly defendable workplace allegations, he left me with no other alternative but to fight for the truth and for justice under defamation law. The Commonwealth's conduct in the swift settlement with Brittney sent a clear and a very unequivocal message to the nation that these demonstrable lies were in fact true. This enabled me to continue to be grossly defamed. And as a senator in this place, I had to fight for my and my staff and my family's reputation. And people ask why. But if in the Senate, if in this chamber, if we don't fight for the truth and justice, where on earth in Australia do we fight for it? I had no choice. Of course I had to fight. Now, once Justice Toddle has delivered his judgment, then I will have a lot more to say about this. However, I'll conclude on this matter by saying this. In the next parliament, it is my great hope that all parties can come together to agree on how we set the standard in this place and calibrate it so it is the same standard that we legislate for every other workplace in this country. To do that, to set the standard, we also, not we, it won't be we anymore, but those in this chamber will have to agree where robust and privileged debate finishes and where inappropriate workplace behaviours and bullying starts. The abuse of parliamentary privilege is no longer acceptable.